Hey guys, I'm Naya and welcome back to the channel. For today's video, we're gonna be doing a Q&A. So the channel hit 2,000 subscribers, as I've mentioned in the community post, and I'm super thankful for that. So I decided to do a Q&A because a lot of you ask me questions from time to time, and right now I figured why not do it. So we have quite a lot to go through, so let's go ahead and get started. Now I have them opened up over here on my computer, so I'm gonna be looking down just to read them. But basically, a couple were about sort of my origins, in Yu-Gi-Oh, my beginning, all of that. So I'm just gonna answer all of them together. The first one was from Loli, and it said, "What was your first instruction?" Or I figured it's introduction to Yu-Gi-Oh, and when did you first get into the competitive scene? Then the next one was by Michael. When did you start playing Yu-Gi-Oh, and how did you get into it? From YRYP, what age did you start playing Yu-Gi-Oh, and why? And from Isaiah, how did you get into it? From JR the Beast, how did you get into it? And those were basically the ones that, well, everybody wanted to know how I got into it. And long story short, basically I was just watching the GX anime because I love GX so much. And I was watching it with my husband and we were like, well, let's do it, because he had a bunch of old cards from when he was a kid. We built, our decks, and obviously we weren't our decks weren't as competitive, but he had Gravekeeper. And I built myself Ancient Gear because he only had specific themed cards to build another deck, and it was Crawler themed. So I built myself an Ancient Gear, which was my first deck, and this was actually one of the questions. And it was from Ice Rider, and it said, "Do you remember your first deck you made?" And they also said, "Congrats for everything," which is really nice, and I appreciate that a lot. So basically, I made myself Ancient Gears, and I kept losing to Gravekeeper. I was annoyed. I googled which deck would be the cheapest to get, looked a couple of videos on YouTube, and I built myself dinos from 3 dino structure decks. And then my husband got, mad because he kept losing with Gravekeepers, so he built himself 2 Draco. And we had no idea they were competitive whatsoever at that point in time. We just played each other. We didn't know the competitive scene was a thing. We just dueled. That was pretty much it. Then we traded for a card with someone from locals, and he was actually the first person to introduce competitive scene to us, and he has since sadly passed away. Which is really sad, but we will forever be grateful to him for introducing us. And we went to locals, and it was just basically, that was it. The rest was history. We just stayed. So yeah, moving on to the next question. It's from Epic Noob. Your opinion on Fluffles. My opinion on Fluffles is that it can catch you off guard if you're not careful, so please be careful when you're playing against Fluffles, because they can very easily OTK you and do other things as well. But yeah, I just think they're quite a fragile deck, and that's pretty much it. They're interesting, I guess, but they don't really do that much in my opinion. The next one is from Brad, and it's a lot of them, so we're gonna go through every single one of them. What's your all-time favorite card? So I thought about that, and I actually have 2. I have Flame Wingman, and I have Colossus. And I prepared myself a couple things to show you while we're at it. We traded for this Flame Wingman, but it was so damaged because it was from someone that didn't handle it well, that we decided to make it into a token. So this is a token I keep at in my deck box at all times. And then the other one is Colossus. I love the Thunder deck, and I wanted to have the deck as soon as it came out. Now I think Colossus should stay on the ban list. It's incredibly broken, so I don't really care about that part. But yeah, the card itself I still love so much. And yeah, then the next one is what made you play Yu-Gi-Oh, which I already explained. And then what made you start YouTube? So basically, I just honestly really wanted to create meaningful content. I genuinely care to help people either, just enjoy and have a good time or get better at the game, because I appreciated, overall content creation when I was trying to get better, and I still am trying to get better every single day. And I think it's so important to create content that people can gain something from. So that's mainly what I wanted to do. And also I just appreciated YugiTuber so much. I watched a lot of that content at many points in my life. good and bad. And it's something that really kept me going. And I just wanted to provide a place for someone to come to and chill and learn and I guess just make someone happy and teach them something. The next one is, who is the best duelist you know? And I thought about that to prepare myself. And I came up with a couple. So I'm going to mention all of them. The first one would be Luka Vaupot. He is a Slovene player. He is so good. He is definitely one of the best players I know. And the next one is Hrvoje Hedget. He is also an incredibly good player, and he was in my vlog for a couple seconds. But yeah, the third one would be my husband. He is legit. He teaches me something probably every single day. He is so smart. His sequencing is perfect. Like he just he's an incredible player. And the last one would be Alen Kozalac. He is also one of the best players I know. And I just strive to be like them basically every time I play. And yeah, that would be it. And then a couple of things about Master Duel. I don't really play it. I might get into it again, but I played it for a very short period of time and then I just sort of got bored. And yeah, lastly, it said, thank you, your content is great, especially the budget staple options video. I appreciate that a lot. I'm happy to help. Thank you. The next one is from Dominic. Opinions on best deck of the format. The best deck of the format is Prankit Brave, in my opinion, next to Based, and I play Prankit, so I'm good with that, As for Based, I think it's the same as with every single combo deck. You need to pilot it well to achieve good results. And yeah, the deck is busted in itself, but it's interesting. It's just this huge pile of a lot of engines, and I like that. I'm not saying it's as healthy as a format should be, but I think it's interesting. The next one is from Newt, and it says, please tell us why you think the baby Chaos Dragons and Striker Dragon need to come off the limited list, and why LP and Augur Pain need to come off the forbidden list. Thank you. So I don't know if I can tell you that, honestly. I think everything should stay exactly where it is. And as much as I enjoyed, the LP Augur Pain format, I'm not gonna lie, I enjoyed it a lot. I played the Plio deck with it, I played Pendulum with it, but it still just needs to rest. Everything should stay limited, and I think that's pretty much it. Then we had two very nice ones, one from Adam that just said keep up the great work, and one from Pressure Gaming, also keep it up. So thank you, I appreciate all of the support. The next one is from Loser Dog, and it says, which Ojama is best Ojama? I love to hear content on the soft skills of Yu-Gi-Oh!, reading your opponent, game etiquette, etc. So I think all Ojamas are best Ojamas. We cannot differentiate between Ojamas. It's just the way it is. It's so funny when I read this to a friend. He said that Chaz is the best Ojama, which I can agree with. So there's that. And also the second part, I think it's a very good idea, and I just might think of something. Then it's one from Sharemaster, and it says, what was your first competitive or competitive level deck? So I touched upon that. It was Dinos, because I had no idea they were good. I just wanted to purchase, structure decks, not invest a lot of money. At first, I didn't think I was going to play a lot. Obviously, that changed. But I figured why not purchase the structure decks, and I had no idea it was good. So then I just purchased other things. So I wanted the True Kings. Obviously my husband had Draco also, so I played the Diagram, and I just wanted, to make Dinos even better, because I found out they were competitive, and I can make them better. So yeah, Dino. Then is one from Blind Man, and it says, how much do you deck build or trail out ratios of certain cards in a build when you first start playing it? So what I like to do, and I think there's no shame in that, I always net deck when I'm learning the deck, but I never net deck when I take it to an event. So basically, I'll take a build, whichever I think is good, I'll test it, and then I will immediately start changing everything that I'm dissatisfied with, and that's pretty much it. Yeah, I think there's no shame in net decking when you're trying to learn. However, when you're going to an event, I just think it's not shameful to net deck, to each their own, but I think you should have your own ratios because only you know your own reasoning behind it. So yeah, that's that. The next one is from Tiberius Jones, and it said, what would your dream YCS tournament be? And I legit don't care. Anywhere near me, anywhere close to me, I'm good with that. And then non-YGO, what keeps you motivated to keep doing content and any future plans as a content creator? So what keeps me motivated is just genuinely enjoying what I do. And I think I would always do it, like even if I didn't have any response, which I think, you know, is sort of not possible, because if you're doing enough, if you're putting in enough work, obviously you're gonna have a response. But I just genuinely love it a lot, and I think I have a couple things to say. I think I know some stuff, and I just wanna, I guess, help people, make people happy. And as for future plans, I just want to create content. Like, I legit just want to make the most high quality content possible, and I want to grow a community, because I just want to reach people with my content, and you know, wherever that takes me, I'm just not planning on stopping. Then it's a couple from Socrates, and it says, what is your favorite format, past, present? So I guess I would have to say I enjoyed Eternal format a lot. I think a lot of people like to say that, but it was a really good format. But I know I only started playing in 2017, so yeah, it's not like I've been playing for a very long time, but that was probably my favorite one. The next one, what is a deck you wish was more competitive? And together with that, I would like to tie in one from Oscar, which said, which archetype would you love to see get new support? Personally, I want more support for Gishki and Skull Servant. So I want to tie these two together, because I'm not, you know, really looking into what gets support, like whatever it is, it's cool. But as for something that I would like to be more competitive or even get support, would probably be Pendulum Magician. Like, I love Pendulum Magician a lot. It was my competitive deck right after Dinos got hit, because obviously they were too good. And then I was sad because it didn't have Dinos anymore. And I purchased a full power Pendulum Magician deck at that point, and I love them so much. So I would love that. I would honestly just want to play, you know, Time Pendulum Graph Turbo, and yeah, so Pendulum Magician. And then the next one, also from Socrates, is what deck has the coolest win condition mechanic? And off the top of my head, I would like to say Bakura's deck, like spelling out final or death, whatever it is, you know, depending on the anime. I think this is dope. I think this is the coolest win condition by far. Then it's one from RKO, which I love your name. I love, you know, wrestling and Randy Orton, all of that. What is your favorite Yugi deck, and what is your least favorite Yugi deck? And then you mean like the anime character, because I'm honestly wondering that's the same thing. Like, do you mean Yugi's deck? Because Yugi's deck is just Yugi's deck. I don't have a personal preference. As for the actual like Yu-Gi-Oh deck, I just love Thunder Dragon. I love OG Thunder Dragon so much. Either the Brilliant Fusion version or just the straight up just Thunder Dragon, like pure, with melodies and Levianeer and like all of that. So yeah, that would probably be my favorite one. As for least favorite, I really dislike Madolce. I just don't like them at all. I don't like Cosmo. And what else don't I like? Yeah, that's probably those two. It's what I dislike the most. So yeah, the next one is from Car Ranger. Am I reading that correctly? And it says, do you also play Magic the Gathering? And I don't play Magic. And then it's one from DZetti, and it says, where do you see yourself in the next 3 to 5 years? Which I thought was such a good question. I honestly see myself doing exactly what I'm doing right now. I just want to create content, like I said before, wherever that takes me. I also have a regular job, so I just might be doing that also. Although obviously I want to pursue content creation full time, because I just want to focus all of my energy into it. I also have a husband, so in 3 to 5 years, I'm gonna be married still. And yeah, that's pretty much it. The next one is from Jonathan, and it says, what's your favorite deck ever? Like I said before, it's gotta be Thunder Dragon, and also Pendulum Magician, like the regular Pendulum Magician. And it says yours are between Stardust and Cyber Dragons, which is a good choice. The next one is from Justin, and it says, first of all, congratulations on your success. Thank you so much. And then it says, if you want to go to a past format, where would you want to be? So I don't really have a particular format I would want to go to, because so many people mention so many formats. So honestly, I would just want to try out every single one. The next one is from DMD, and it says, do you have a pet, and can we meet him or her? So I have a pet. I have a dog. It's a she, and her name is Yubel. Her name is actually Yubel. She responds to Yubel, which is the coolest thing ever. And we love her a lot, but she lives with my mom-in-law. So basically you can see her physically. We also had a lot of guinea pigs. We love them so much, but sadly, you know, they have all passed away. So yeah, I guess I'll just show you a couple pictures. This next one I thought was so awesome, and it's from Professor Sequoia, and it says, what's your strategy to learning a new card when reading it quickly? So basically, how do you read it? What do you look for? How do you contextualize the information? I thought this question was awesome. Like I said, what I like to do is I read through it specifically looking for what the cost is. I think this is so important. So either targeting, discarding, anything like that. And then I also look at it from the viewpoint of how good it is. Does it search? Does it special summon? Do you have to, I don't know, discard one to get something that's maybe a bit worse, so you minus a lot if I, for example, ash it. And the third thing I'm looking at is what the restrictions are. So does it lock you into anything, any special attribute, type of summoning, anything like that? And then I just keep it at the back of my mind. Or does it burn you at the end of the turn, something like that? And I just keep the info, basically. Then there's also another one from Professor Sequoia, and I wanna connect it to this one from Invernity Nerd, and it says, how do you feel about this format and if the Brave engine should be checked? Love your videos. Thank you. So Professor also said that what my opinion is on strong cards, like overall strong engines, and if they should be hit. If I think it's just fun, it's whatever. And my opinion, to keep it very brief, would be it's sort of a necessary evil in the game. Like, power creep is a thing, and they will keep on printing good engines and good cards because they want to push the game further and the sales further, and just the way it is. And if you have means to either acquire the good engine or a way to fit it in your deck, and you don't dislike it, I think you should play it because you can stay at the competitive level that way, only if you're good with that. So, for example, with the Brave engine, I like it in prank kids, and I will play it, you know? But I realize how sometimes cards can be too good and too oppressive. And at that point, I just think that at some point in time, it's going to get hit. So you just might as well play it until that point and not complain about it because it's not gonna get hit on the next list. So just play a deck that can counter it, or don't play at that point. Because like, this game is just how it is. Like, you're complaining and you feeling bad is not gonna change it. So you just might as well enjoy it, because at the end of the day, it is a card game we all enjoy. So why would we complain? And I realize it's hard to say that. So I guess just deal with it however you see it fitting. And at one point in time, if something is too busted, I'm sure it will get touched. As for the Brave engine, it's not gonna get hit just yet, but we just might see. Then the next one was from Andres, and it said, how did you start in the competitive, and what advices do you have for people that want to give it the first step? So I already touched upon my start, but I wanted to keep this question separate because my advice, and my only advice actually, would be, I have two things to say. One would be collect as much info as possible, and the other one would be practice. Just test. Like, legit, what you want to do is get yourself familiar with every single deck possible, like in the meta, in the competitive environment, and also test your deck, the one you want to play, as much as you can. The next one was from Ellie, and it said, have you started saving for retirement? And I have not. So then it's one from Daph, and it says, do you think Konami will ever introduce a new summoning mechanic, or do you think they would be apprehensive with what happened with pendulums? And I don't think that's the case. I mean, links got introduced after pendulums, so it's not them being apprehensive, but it's just links are quite new, so they might not do it, in the very near future, but at one point in time, they just might. Then it's one from Yalric, and it says, congrats on the 2K, thank you. And what was the deck you hate the most? Playing it and playing against it. So I already mentioned Madolce. I just really dislike that deck. And yeah, I guess Spiral was also horrible to play against. It was really lame with Resort and Steeper and all of that. I really disliked that deck as well. And it was kind of hard to pilot because I was just starting out when Spiral was a thing. So I think it was even harder for me. So yeah, those two probably. Then it's one from Hershey, and it says, can you make an in-depth video on how to play adventure pranks? So, I can consider it. I'll see. Then it's one from Neosynthesis, and it says, getting back into Paper Yu-Gi-Oh! Looking for an entry point on Ash Blossom. Do you think the reprint will be lower, or it's gonna stay at 25? So I'm not exactly, I don't know a lot about prices in the market, but from like just looking at it, I think it's going to drop. But with these reprint sets, I think it's the pattern has been that it drops significantly and it's very low when it comes out, and then it just keeps on going up in price. So I would advise you to get it as soon as possible because it just might creep up in price, but the secret ones are more than likely just going to retain value. And that's pretty much it. I hope this video wasn't too long. I wanted to get to every single question, and I appreciate you a lot. You know, I thank you for asking me these questions so we can interact and you know a little bit more about me. And if you want me to do any kind of Q&A in the near future, I would love to do that, or whenever, just let me know. And if you like the video, make sure to like it, make sure to give me a sub, check out all of the social media, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace!